Well, today is the day I try to explain how I figure out the gear train. In other words, how many times does this gear have to turn in order for this gear to turn this many times in order for the big hand to go completely around the dial once every 12 hours. And this is the way I do it. Now I know there's probably a computer program somewhere where you can feed all your data into the computer and it'll tell you how many teeth to put on this gear and how many teeth to put on that gear. But I do it by hand, you might say. And I'm hoping I'm going to be able to explain it in such a way that you're going to understand it, because sometimes I'll watch these videos afterwards and I'll think, my goodness, even I don't understand that, and I'm the one that was talking about it. Anyway, here we go. So, as probably most of you know by now, this thing that you're looking at is actually going to be the balance wheel. Normally this is the little thing that you see sort of rotating back and forth in a mechanical clock or wristwatch, unless it's a pendulum clock or something. But anyway, this is the balance wheel. And instead sort of going tick, 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 tick like a wristwatch, it oscillates extremely slowly. One complete oscillation every 30 seconds, or thereabouts. It'll be quite easy to adjust it. I just move the weights in closer to each other to speed it up, or maybe move it out a fraction of an inch to slow it down. Anyway, because it's doing once every 30 seconds, it makes it a little easier to figure out how many times it has to oscillate in 1 hour, and then of course in 12 hours for one complete rotation of the big dial. And here's the big dial. Right now it's been drawn to 56 inches in diameter. I'm drawing everything to scale, everything to size. At least that's the way it is in the drawing. In reality on the screen, of course, it's going to be a lot smaller. But 56 inches is the plan for it right now. Now, I do realize it is going to change. One thing you'll notice about this dial, it's actually a gear. And instead of having the cogs running around on the outside of the gear, they run on the inside. And you'll see why. Now, if you don't realize that the entire assembly slowly rotates once every 12 hours, well, then this whole thing isn't going to make a whole lot of sense. But the whole assembly rotates, and the cogs on the dial ring that are on the inside of the ring, they catch on those ball bearings. Well, the ball bearings, that's those little gray circles that you see. And yeah, that rotates gear number 2. And then gear number 2 will rotate gear number 3. And gear number 3 will drive the escapement anchor, which in turn will help to swing the escapement wheel, which is the the arm with the weights on it. Anyway, this is how it works. Now for how I actually figured out, how many teeth do I need for each gear. And that's when I got a headache. It wasn't as easy as it used to be. It took me a little longer. I probably spent a good part of a day doing this. Anyway, here we go. Now, in a perfect world, in other words, if I've got all my calculations correct this time, the balance wheel will allow the escapement wheel number 3 to rotate once every 8 minutes. That means that the escapement wheel number 3, at a ratio of 6:1 against the wheel number 2, will allow number 2 to rotate once every 48 minutes. Now that means wheel number 2, at the ratio of 15:1 against the dial ring, it should circumnavigate around the inside of the dial ring once every 720 minutes, which is 12 hours. Now, like I say, that's in a perfect world.